Hallo und herzlich willkommen beim Wirtschaftsrationalisten. Heute zeige ich euch Videomaterial von 2006, in welchem ein Hedgefondsmanager offen zugibt, dass Hedgefonds illegale Aktivitäten betreiben und den Markt versuchen massiv zu manipulieren. Aber zuallererst ein paar Hintergrundinformationen zu dem Ex-Hedgefondsmanager Jim Cramer, den wir dann gleich in dem Videomaterial sehen werden. Er hat 1977 einen Magna Cum Laude Abschluss im Bachelor of Arts an der Harvard-Universität abgeschlossen. 1984 ging Jim zu Goldman Sachs, wo er jede Abteilung durchgegangen ist, aber dann die meiste Zeit in der Research-Abteilung war. 1987 gründete er seinen eigenen Hedgefonds, der relativ erfolgreich war. 1990 begann er gleichzeitig regelmäßig in Fernsehsendungen aufzutreten und war ab 2002 ein Co-Moderator bei der Show America Now. 2001 hörte Jim dann auf, den Hedgefonds zu leiten und konzentrierte sich auf das Fernsehen und den Journalismus. Und im Jahre 2005 ergab sich dann die Gelegenheit für seine eigene Show Mad Money, mit der er dann sehr, sehr erfolgreich geworden ist.
Show you the new Stark Industries business plan. Look, that's a weapons company that doesn't make weapons.
So, und wir werden uns jetzt mal gemeinsam angucken, was der gute Jim zu erzählen hat.
Stocks are down again. Is this just because it's the holiday period that we're seeing this?
You know, a lot of times when I was short at my hedge fund and I was positioned short, meaning I needed it down, I would create a level of activity beforehand that could drive the futures. It doesn't take much money. Similarly, if I were long and I would want to make things a little bit rosy, I would go in and take a bunch of stocks and make sure that they're higher. And maybe commit $5 million in capital to do it, and I could affect it.
Also, was der liebe Jim hier sagt, ist, wenn man Short oder Long ist als Hedgefonds, dann versucht man halt, den Markt so zu beeinflussen, dass man halt Aktien kauft oder verkauft und versucht so den Markt halt je nachdem zu beeinflussen und man den Markt quasi damit schon manipuliert.
What you're seeing now is it probably is bigger market now. Maybe you need 10 million in capital to knock this stuff down, but it's a fun game and it's a lucrative game, and you can move it up and then fade it. That's often creates a very negative feel. So let's say you take a longer term view intraday and you say, listen, I'm going to boost the futures, and then when the real sellers come in, real market comes in, they're going to knock it down. That's going to create a negative view. That's a strategy very worth doing when you're valued on a day-to-day basis. And I would encourage anyone who's in the hedge fund game to do it because it's legal,
Right.
And it is a very quick way to make money and very satisfying.
Okay.
Oh, by the way.
Und man erkennt auch schon an der Art, wie er redet, wie Hedgefonds sozusagen vom Kopf eingestellt sein müssen. Sie müssen richtig Spaß dran haben, den Markt zu manipulieren.
No one else in the world would ever admit that, but I can care.
That's right, and you can say that here.
I'm not going to say it on TV.
Und zu dieser Zeit hatte er halt schon die Show Mad Money und er hätte sowas niemals im Fernsehen gesagt. Und 2006 war das Internet halt noch sehr klein und da hat er sich das getraut zu sagen, weil er dachte, es hören sowieso nicht so viele. Aber das Internet vergisst ja nicht.
Well, on a related note, there's so many more hedge funds today than when you were managing your hedge fund.
Right.
Do you think does that exacerbate the moves, or does it make it
Well,
tougher?
you know, the hedge funds are positioned long short, okay, not just long like mutual funds. So it's really vital these next 6 days because of your payday. You've really got to control the market. You can't let it lift.
Ich möchte nochmal betonen, was er gerade gesagt hat. Man muss den Markt kontrollieren. Man darf nicht zulassen, dass er sich so bewegt, wie die Leute, sozusagen die Privatanleger, das wollen, sondern man muss ihn kontrollieren.
Get a research in motion. It's really important to use a lot of your firepower to knock that down because it's the fulcrum of the market today. So let's say I were short. What I would do is I would hit a lot of guys with RIM. Now, you can't foment. That's a violation of
Ferment?
Yeah, you can't foment. You can't create yourself an impression that a stock's down. But you do it anyway because the SEC doesn't understand it. So
Und das ist der Hauptpart quasi gerade des Videos, was ich euch unbedingt zeigen will. Er gibt zu, dass die Hedgefonds Gesetze brechen, aber die SEC, also die Behörde, die das überwachen muss, nicht versteht, was die Hedgefonds machen oder nicht die Möglichkeit hat, das zu überwachen und sie es einfach dennoch machen. Also Hedgefonds verabreden sich zusammen, den Markt zu manipulieren und die SEC kann das aber nicht zurückverfolgen.
That's the only sense that I would say this is illegal. But a hedge fund that's not up a lot really has to do a lot now to save itself. So This is different from what I was talking about at the beginning, where I would be buying the Qs and stuff.
Right.
This is actually just blatantly illegal. But when you have 6 days and your company may be in doubt because you're down, I think it's really important to foment. If I were one of these guys, foment an impression that research in motion isn't any good, because research in motion is the key today. So you would hit this guy and that guy, and when you would see an offering, when you see a guy who's bidding, you'd wipe out that guy very quickly. And what I used to do was called, if I wanted to go higher, I would take and bid. And if I wanted to go lower, I'd hit an offer. And I could get a stock like RIM for maybe, that might cost me 15, 20 million, Annie, to knock RIM down. But it would be fabulous because it would beleaguer all the moron longs who are also keying on research in motion. So
There's a lot of that going on today with
yeah,
RIM,
we're seeing that.
absolutely.
That's, again, when your company's in a survival mode, it's really important to defeat research in motion and get the Pisanis of the world and the people talking about it as if there's something wrong with RIM. Then
Was hier gesagt hat, ist, dass selbst wenn sozusagen Neuigkeiten von der Firma oder irgendwie was kommt, dann versucht ein Hedgefonds, obwohl das vielleicht sogar positive Nachrichten sind, den Eindruck zu hinterlassen, dass der Markt das trotzdem nicht positiv aufnimmt, indem sie halt extrem viel Aktien verkaufen oder leer verkaufen und den Markt so runterdrücken von einer bestimmten Aktie, um halt ein negatives Gefühl dem Markt zu geben.
you would call the journal and you get the Bozo report on research in motion, and you would feed that there's a Palm's got a killer it's going to give away. These are all the things you must do on a day like today, and if you're not doing it, maybe you shouldn't be in the game.
Okay. Another stock that a lot of people are focused on right now seems to be Apple.
Yeah,
You
Apple's
mentioned-
very important to spread the rumor that that both Verizon and AT&T have decided they don't like the phone.
Right.
That's a very easy one to do because it's also, you want to spread the rumor that it's not going to be ready for Macworld. And this is very easy because the people who write about Apple want that story. And you can claim that it's credible because you spoke to someone at Apple, because Apple isn't doesn't.
Right, they're
issue
not
any
going to comment.
statements.
They're not going to
Right,
say.
so it's really an ideal short, and I would.
Auch hier gibt er wieder zu, dass Hedgefonds einfach Gerüchte in die Welt setzen, die man nicht so leicht widerlegen kann und halt sagen, ja, der und der hat gesagt und wir leiten euch das weiter, also sozusagen Insider-Informationen weitergeben und so man halt auch unglaublich gut den Markt beeinflussen kann. Und auch das sehen wir momentan halt bei der GameStop-Aktie und auch bei anderen Aktien und auch, ich komme ja auch von Tesla und auch ganz viel bei der Tesla-Aktie.
Again, if I were short Apple, I would be working very hard today to get that. And the way you would do that is you pick up the phone, you call 6 trading desks, and you say, listen, I just got off the phone with my contact at Verizon. And he has already said, listen, we're a Lucky G house. We're a Samsung house. We're a Motorola house. There's no room for Apple. They want too much. We're not going to let them in. We're not going to let them do what they did to music. And, I think that's a very effective way to keep a stock down.
Right.
And these are all what's really going on under the market that you don't see.
Right, and nobody else talks about it
Right,
except
but
you.
what's important when you're in that hedge fund mode is to not do anything remotely truthful.
Es ist wichtig, wenn man in dem Hedgefonds-Modus ist, dass man nicht ansatzweise irgendwas macht, was der Wahrheit entspricht. Zitat Jim Cramer.
Because the truth is so against your view
Right.
that it's important to create a new truth, to develop a fiction.
Man muss neue Wahrheiten erschaffen, also Gerüchte und so weiter. Das, was er vorher alles beschrieben hat, das betont er hier nochmal, dass man das machen muss als Hedgefonds. Nur so kannst du Geld verdienen.
So you're talking about the mechanics of the market.
Well,
You know, the-
mechanics are much more important than the fundamentals.
oh, okay, well, but
Die fundamentalen Daten für einen Hedgefonds sind nicht wichtig. Das hat er hier nochmal betont, weil sie halt ihre eigenen Wahrheiten erschaffen und halt versuchen, einfach nur durch Marktmanipulation Geld zu verdienen.
how you
Who cares
think?
about the fundamentals? Research in motion just blew out the quarter.
Right.
But look what people can do. I mean, that's a fabulous thing. The great thing about the market is it has nothing to do with the actual stocks.
Right.
Now, look, over maybe 2 weeks from now, the buyers will come to their senses and realize that everything that they heard was a lie. But then again, Fannie Mae lied about their earnings for $6 billion. So
Right.
Auch hier sagt er, selbst wenn es dann herauskommt, dass sie gelogen haben, also die Hedgefonds und Gerüchte falsch in die Welt gesetzt haben, passiert halt nichts. Und sie haben ihr Geld ja schon verdient.
And
there's
Bristol Myers
it's just
lies,
fiction
yeah.
and fiction and fiction. And I think it's important for people to recognize that the way that the market really works is to have that nexus of hit the brokerage houses with a series of orders that can push it down, then leak it to the press, and then get it on CNBC. That's also very important.
Hier nochmal, er arbeitet jetzt für CNBC und er sagt, es ist extrem wichtig, die Kurse zu beeinflussen, Gerüchte in die Welt zu setzen und auch der News-Kanal CNBC ist extrem wichtig. Also Umkehrschluss, alles was ihr von CNBC hört, ist wohl möglich Schwachsinn.
And then you have a kind of a vicious cycle down.
Right.
And it's a pretty good game. And it can be played, you can pay for a percent or two.
Right, and then do you get long before Macworld and the expectation that the iPhone is going to be good? Right, and then you go back,
You
flip to the
certainly
long
got to use
side.
the other side.
Also nochmal eine Zusammenfassung. Hedgefonds manipulieren die Kurse, manipulieren die Medien, setzen Gerüchte in die Welt und betreiben illegale Sachen. Und deswegen ist es so wichtig, dass man jetzt nochmal die Aufmerksamkeit genau in diese Richtung lenkt, damit die SEC und auch andere Behörden, auch die in Deutschland und in der ganzen Welt, stärker darauf achten, was Hedgefonds machen, weil sie eine gewaltige Macht haben, weil Geld nun mal ganz viel Kontrolle ausüben kann. Und ich hoffe, euch hat das Video gefallen. Folgt mir auf Twitter, da gebe ich auch immer sehr kurzfristige Updates und vor allem auch zu der ganzen GameStop-Thematik und Wall Street Bets und so weiter. Und gerne den Kanal abonnieren und auch liken. Wir sehen uns beim nächsten Video. Bis dann. Ciao, ciao.